Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stream. And if it's no secret to you, I'm a big sports fan, especially a big NBA fan. If it's reason for this is terrible intro. Let me start that again. Whoo! Okay. Um, I'm a big basketball fan, big NBA fan. If it's any reason why we have not been playing a lot of NBA The Run, and I'm addicted to that game, but I'm also addicted to this game. It's the 82 and 0 challenge, and basically what it is, as you can see here, it's it lists off all 30 NBA teams, and it's also choosing a random era. So you have the I don't believe it goes back to the 50s, but it says the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and we're currently in the 2020s. And your goal is just to, with the act of God and luck on your side, create a lineup of an 82 and 0 lineup. And I have not been able to get 82 and 0, and it's frustrating because I feel like I've been so close so many chances. Like, I'm going to show a picture of what the best lineup I've had. This lineup right here, Oscar Robertson, Sacramento, the first point guard to average a triple-double before Russell Westbrook did it. Pistol Pete Maravich, Dr. J, Jerry Lucas, and Bill Russell, the person who has more NBA championships than anybody else in NBA history, and also should have maybe like 10 Defensive Player of the Years, but they weren't counting defensive stats at the time. This team went 77 and 5. Hold up. Let me show it on my phone. Yep. There you go. 77 and 5. This team. This is the closest I got. I want to have an 82 and 0 team. So the goal for this stream today is A, can we get an 82 and 0 team as a in general? But B, my second goal is can we at least beat our current record, which is 77 and 5. So yeah, there's the intro. All right, let's get into this. So I'm going to spin, and hope we win. Cleveland 2010s. All right, starting off on a good note because Cleveland, let's just be honest, the GOAT of that team, regardless of era, is one LeBron Ramon James. And the good thing about LeBron is, as you can see here, small forward, power forward, point guard, center, and shooting guard. So he can be any position. Now, this is the issue. Now, obviously, we're picking LeBron. Like, we're not dumb, right? We're picking LeBron. But the issue is, especially because he can pick every single position, what I mean by that is if we pick small forward, for instance, which I feel like that's what we'll do, that means for the other four players, we cannot pick a small forward. That lineup spot is just gone. So, like, for instance, if we get like OKC Kevin Durant in the 2010s or the Bulls Scottie Pippen in the 90s, we cannot pick the small forward lineup, even though they'll been a really great player because LeBron's taking that spot. But I'm just being honest. I feel like LeBron is an exception to the rule where you have to think about, okay, I don't want to remove this position in case I get someone really good, because I think LeBron is probably the best small forward in NBA history, regardless of players, era, team. So I'm picking small forward for one LeBron Ramon James. All right. Great start. Maybe I need to. Holy shit! Okay. I'm not jinxing myself yet. But okay. This could be the run immediately as soon as I turn on the camera. Oh my god. I am not. What the heck? I cannot contain my excitement. As soon as I turn on the camera, I have not had the best two possible options you could ever have. And I feel like the only way we could get luckier and go 3 for 3 is we get either 90s Jordan or like 2000s like Lakers like Shaq or something like that. But 2000 Spurs, and I'm going to pick Tim Duncan, who was one of my favorite players of all time, in my opinion, top 5 player of all time. We got 2000 LeBron and 2000s Tim Duncan. Oh my God, I'm really shaking right now. Because I don't think we could have had a better start than this. And like I was saying earlier, of how you have to be very aware and cognizant of each player you pick. Because again, you don't want to pick a position where you get a later player earlier on and it kind of screws you over. But again, LeBron's the exception on small forward because he's the best small forward in NBA history. Tim Duncan is the best power forward in NBA history. So I feel like that rule of considering positions goes out the window. I'm going to pick the best small forward and best power forward in NBA history. Give me Tim Duncan at power forward. All right. All right. So we have point guard. I can't get too excited yet. This is a great run, great start, but this could all go out the window. Okay, so we have point guard, shooting guard, and center. Man, I will lose all my marbles if like it gives me like Chicago like 90s or something like that. Or like 60s like Celtics for like Kareem with the Lakers, or in this case 60s Celtics would be like Bill Russell. All right. Brooklyn 80s. See, that's my issue. I got too hype. I got too excited because that's one of the worst ones. We had such a great start with LeBron and Tim Duncan. Because Brooklyn's terrible because, I mean, no disrespect, but Brooklyn doesn't have a lot of winning history. They don't have a lot of great players. Like, the best players you can say for, like, Brooklyn would be, well, it would be the New Jersey Nets. It would be, like, Jason Kidd and, like, Vince Carter, but that was, like, 2000s, not 80s. So, this is the thing. I am not satisfied with 80s Brooklyn, especially with the amazing start we've had with LeBron and Tim Duncan. So I'm going to re-roll. Now here's the thing. Do I chance it with the team or the era? Because if I do team, that gives me a different team in the 80s. And going off my memory, there's the 80s Detroit Pistons, Bad Boy Pistons. There's the 80s Lakers dynasty. There's the 80s Celtic dynasty with like Larry Bird. You have the 80s like Philadelphia 76ers with like Moses Malone. Like there's a lot of good options in the 80s. But if I'm Brooklyn, if I do era, I'm kind of hoping for like 2000s for like, again, Vince Carter, Jason Kidd. So I'm going to choose team because I feel like the odds of probability is a higher likelihood that I'll get a better team than Brooklyn the 80s. So I'm going team. But it's could be in the 80s. Boston 80s. Oh! Oh no. No! I got too excited. I messed up. No! I got too excited when I saw Boston for 80s. I'm like, yes, the Celtic dynasty. But I messed up. No! Because Larry Bird is only a small forward. Or a power forward, and those positions are both taken. And I was saying earlier that I don't care about positions because LeBron's the best small forward of NBA history, and same for power forward Tim Duncan. But if I did like shooting guard for LeBron, we could have had shooting guard LeBron, small forward Larry Bird, and power forward Tim Duncan. No! I can't even get Kevin McHale either. I have to... This is literally the luckiest run I've had, and I don't get to reap the benefits of it. I'm so upset. I literally could pick Larry Bird, and I have to pick Robert Parrish. Fuck! This was such a good run. Utah 2000s. I'm not picking Nasty Man. I'm not picking Carlos Boozer. I'm picking Darren Williams. Shooting guard, how do we close it out? 80s. I don't get Moses Malone. I don't get Hakeem. Calvin Murphy. 59-23. 59-23! Are you serious? How? How do we mess that up? Like, legitimately, how? How do I have a team where the first two picks is 2000s LeBron and 2000s Tim Duncan, and we go 59-23, we're only a contender? How do I have LeBron and Tim Duncan as my first two picks, and we don't even get 60 wins? God damn it, Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. I got too hype on my first two picks. All right, re-roll, re-rack it. All right, let's go again. Lakers 2020s. I could pick LeBron again, but I'm going to pick Luka. For point guard. All right, here we go. Point guard. Luka is definitely a lot better than Deron Williams. Center, I'm going to pick Bill Russell. So we got Luka. This is also very ironic that they give me Celtics and Lakers back-to-back. That's funny. But, okay, point guard Luka, center is Bill Russell. That's also a pretty solid start. It's not as good as LeBron and Tim Duncan, but I feel like it's pretty close. All right. I still have not to this day got Chicago 90s. Oh. You gave me 90s, but it's Knicks. Do I pick Patrick Ewing and pair with Bill Russell? I think so. I think I'm going to pair Patrick Ewing and Bill Russell and have an absolute dominant front court, because Patrick Ewing is underrated. He doesn't get the respect he deserves because he unfortunately played in an era with peak Shaq, or at least coming to his own Shaq in Orlando, peak prime Akeem, young David Robinson. So never got the respect he deserves. And respectfully, even the nasty man. KD. Oh, okay. Do I pick KD for small forward or shooting guard? This is a great team. I will say, a great team. Luka at point guard, Patrick Ewing at power forward, and Bill Russell at center. I'm small forward for Kevin Durant? I think so. All right, who's our shooting guard? Miami 80s. No. All right. Okay. Shooting guard is left. It rolled on Miami. I'm gonna re-roll the team. Or no, I'm gonna re-roll the era because I'm gonna keep Miami. And I'm gonna hope and pray that we end this lineup on 2000s for Dwayne Wade. So we have Luka point guard, Wade at shooting guard, KD at small forward, Patrick Ewing at power forward, Bill Russell at center. I'm doing it. 2000s. Please, for the love of God, give me 2000s. Here we go, 2000s. No! It's slightly closer. We went from 80s to 90s, but you were still one off. God. Steve Smith. 75-7. A lot better than our first round. And if my memory serves me correct, that is still not the best lineup we've had. The best lineup is still 77-5. Whew, okay. But better. Better lineup than the first one. Okay, here we go. Golden State 80s. All right. I'm going to re-roll instantly and hope that the era is different and it's like the 2010s or 2020s because then I want Curry. I want Curry. 2010s for Curry. Oh, but I also could get Kevin Durant. Oh. Do I pick Curry where he won MVPs and was unanimous MVP, or do I pick the 2 years of Kevin Durant? I know I just said that I want Curry, but those 2 years of Kevin Durant, from a numbers perspective, I just have to. I'm picking Warriors KD. I love you stuff though. Spurs 2020s, give me Victor Wembanyama. I love it. We got KD, Warriors KD, and Victor Wembanyama. That's a good start. I love it. Chicago 80s, give me Michael Jordan. Thank you very much. First time I ever got Jordan. Philly 90s, yeah, give me Charles Barkley. All right, who's our point guard? Just roll through it, very speed run. Earl Monroe, 78-4. That is our best lineup yet. I am very satisfied with him, but it's still not enough for an 80-win team. And that's what makes this challenge so addicting but so hard is Michael Jordan, Warriors Kevin Durant, and Victor Wembanyama is not enough to crack 80 wins, yet alone go 82-0. My God, this is hard. But it's addicting. All right. Here we go again. Lakers 70s. Oh. I mean, I have to pick Kareem, right? Like, I mean, Jerry West, yeah, he's the logo, but I have to pick Kareem. Like, that's the obvious choice. Miami 90s. Miami wasn't that great of a team in the 90s. I'm going to choose a different era because maybe I can get 2000s or 2010s for either Miami LeBron or Miami Wade again. Miami 2000s, give me Dwayne Wade. Thank you. All right. Kareem and Dwayne Wade, great start. Spurs 90s. I am kind of forced to pick Tim Duncan because David Robinson, while he would have been great, and no disrespect to the Admiral, David Robinson, thank you for your military service is what I meant to say. But even if I want to pick David Robinson, I can't pick him because we already have Kareem at center. And honestly, again, Tim Duncan power forward, not bad at all. All right, great start. Toronto 2000s. I would love to pick Vince Carter, but Dwayne Wade is there. I can't pick Chris Bosh either. I can't even pick Tracy McGrady. I'm going to choose a different team. React the team. I need point guard or small forward. Steve Francis, Rashard Lewis. Man. Give me Stevie Franchise, I guess. Man, that's such a bad... And New Orleans Pelicans 2020s. I have no choice but to pick Brandon Ingram. 72-10. Another 70-win team, and I feel like, no disrespect, that is solely carried by Dwayne Wade and a front court of both Tim Duncan and Kareem. God, we always start really good, right? We always have like our first 2-3 picks is always really good, and that's when we mess it up. And I say that when this isn't that great of a start. I'm going to choose a different team because I want 90s. I want Chicago Jordan. I want maybe like Shaq in Orlando, like something. I want to choose a different team. Spurs 90s. Okay. And we're back to this. I mean, I kind of feel bad that I would be picking Tim Duncan for 3 times in a row, but I kind of want to take him again. I kind of want to take Tim Duncan again for the 3rd time in a row. My bias for Tim Duncan, I guess. Give me Tim Duncan. Phoenix 2010s? Amari Stoudemire. That is a fun choice. I'm gonna pick that. Spurs 2000s. I mean, Tony Parker may have a Finals MVP, but like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, like they're not known for dropping like 30 or something like that. You can see he's averages 16 points. So I'm gonna re-rack the era because maybe we get like 2010s where you give me like, you know, DeMar DeRozan or something like that. 2010s, DeMar DeRozan, perfect. Which is bizarre because you would think 2010 Spurs will be like Kawhi because from 2014 to 17, that was like peak Spurs Kawhi. That's when he was in like, top 3, top 5 MVP finishers. But you can see Kawhi only averaging 16 points on the Spurs. So give me DeMar DeRozan. Washington 2000s. I'm gonna pick Gilbert Arenas. Even though it'd be funny to pick Jordan, but that's old Jordan. And the Knicks, we close out with Carmelo Anthony. 63 and 19. Yeah. I feel like Amari Stoudemire, who's a great player, same thing for Gilbert Arenas. Both great players, both averaging 23, 25 points, especially in their era. But, it's not anything that great. Like, Amari Stoudemire being at center compared to like, Hakeem or Kareem or Bill Russell or Shaq. You have Amari Stoudemire, which is again serviceable, but compared to the best centers of all time, he's not really doing that much. No disrespect. Minnesota 2010s. Do I pick Cat? But Kevin Love is also speaking to me. I'm gonna pick Kevin Love. Because when I think of 2010s Minnesota, my mind does go to Kevin Love. Center can be Joel Embiid. Solid. We have the injury concern, but he does have an MVP, whether you think it's legitimate or not, but he still does have an MVP. Damn it. If I had known I would have got Kareem, I wouldn't have picked Joel Embiid. But I'm going to pick Magic, which I feel like is a solid choice. Like, I don't feel like that's that bad. Oh, man. Portland 2010s. Give me Damian Lillard. All right, who's our small forward? Knicks in the 60s. I don't even know. Willie Knowles. Come on the team, brother. 71-11. Man, if I had known, I would have got Kareem. I wouldn't have picked Embiid. Like, I would have either like re-rolled or picking like Jimmy Butler or something like that as like our small forward. Like, there would have been options. Man. Minnesota 90s. That's not great. I mean, yeah, there is Kevin Garnett down there, but that is like young Kevin Garnett. Like, I want to say that's like rookie, like second year Kevin Garnett. Like, he's not coming to his own yet in the 2000s. That's like me picking like Lakers Kobe in like the 90s or picking Tim Duncan in the 90s or 2010s where it's like, yeah, he's on the roster. He's technically there, but that's not when he's at his like apex. So I'm going to re-roll the team. I feel like we get a better team than Minnesota 90s. And I feel like we do. Charles Barkley, welcome to the team. I'm going to choose you on power forward. Utah 90s. God damn it. No. I would have picked Charles Barkley on small forward and picked the nasty man at power forward. All right, well, restart game. This is a wash. All right, let's go back. I'm restarting. Orlando 2010s. Give me Dwight Howard. Great start. Great start. Washington 2010s. I don't want to ruin this great start with Dwight Howard. But Antoine Jameson, it's the same thing with Amari Stoudemire. It's like Antoine Jameson, great player, no disrespect. But when you look at him compared to other all-time small forwards, like who he could have gotten, like, again, you have 80s Bird, you have 90s like Bulls like Scottie Pippen, any year of LeBron and any team. And you have Antoine Jameson. Like, again, no disrespect, but compared to like those guys, yeah, come on, man. Washington doesn't have much history, so I'm going to choose a different team in the 2010s. I'm thinking we can get like maybe the Warriors again and choose between Curry and KD. 2010s, maybe that gets us like New Orleans, so you could put like Anthony Davis. The Clippers, you have like Blake Griffin. There's a lot better options, I feel, than Washington in the 2010s. Portland in the 2010s, Damian Lillard. That is not bad. That is, I feel like, a lot better of a choice. All right, Damian Lillard, let's go. Brooklyn 90s. Man, all right, I'm going to choose the era. Maybe we can get like 2020s, you can give me like KD. Or you give me like 2000s, so we get like Vince Carter. Or Jason Kidd. 2000s, Vince Carter. All right, let me speak into existence. All right, shooting guard, Vince Carter. I'm going to say you're going to give me small forward, Boston, the 80s. So you're giving me Larry Bird. Houston, the 2020s. Give me Kevin Durant. And then power forward is Charles Barkley, a MVP at power forward, which is not bad. 67 and 15. God, this is so difficult. I mean, I'm glad that we outbeat our record. We have a new all-time high, but I don't even think it's possible to have an 82 record. Like, has anyone legitimately had an 82-0 team without hacking or doing any like crazy stuff? Like, legitimately choosing 5 best players and just having the luckiest players in the world? Because if so, if you legitimately have an 82-0 team and you didn't cheat or anything that was legitimate, go buy a lottery ticket or something like that, because you have clearly way more luck than me. And I feel like we've been getting pretty lucky on our first like 2-3 picks. And then that's when it goes downhill. George Gervin. I guess we can take the Iceman. Clippers 80s. Why is it the Clippers in the 80s? When I want to say the 80s was when they were an expansion team. That's when they first came into the league. But World Be Free, I mean, you did average 30 points. That's too hard to ignore, so I want to pick you. Philly in the 90s. Give me Charles Barkley, I guess, again. Denver in the 70s. David Thompson. I like that. Rest in peace to him, but all I know about David Thompson is that he is what inspired Jordan to be, well, Jordan. So, great. We got a lot of scoring. We got World Be Free average 30. We got the Iceman. We got David Thompson. We got a lot of scoring this team. The problem is we got no defense. So this better be like Bill Russell or something. And our center is going to be James Edwards, the only person we can even pick that's even eligible. All right, man. Memphis in the 2000s. Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Sure, why not? Come on the team, brother. Small forward, power forward, center. I hope I don't regret this, but I'm going to pick him as small forward. Brooklyn, the 70s. Man, I would have loved to take Bernard Kane. Damn it. Shoot. Team. Washington, the 70s. Earl of the Pearl Monroe. Why not? Philly in the 80s. Moses Malone. All right, we got defense. I would have loved if Moses Malone was on our team last round. That would have been amazing. I cannot pick Dominique Wilkins. I have to pick Steve Smith. So that's fantastic. And we close it out on Mike Bentham. God. We're barely even a playoff team. Hey, Dakota, what's up? Dakota, I don't know if you also play this game, but this is hard. We did have one good run, though. I think the run that we had that was pretty good was like 77-5, but no 80s yet, and not even 82-0. God, I honestly feel like that might have been the worst round yet. Is just barely a playoff team. Indiana 70s. I mean, we could pick Adrian Dantley. Great. Fantastic. Let's pick Adrian Dantley. Orlando 2010s. Dwight Howard. All right. That's a better start. I like that. Orlando 2020s. Why not give me all the Orlando players? Why not? Give me Paolo. I guess. Paolo and Dwight Howard. That is a very interesting dynamic. Mark Aguirre. I cannot pick you because I picked Adrian Dantley because I'm an idiot. Dallas 80s. I'm going to choose... The era is different because maybe I can get lucky and get 2010s, 2020s like Luka Doncic. 2010s, Luka Doncic. Hell yeah. All right, who's our shooting guard? It's better be like Jordan or something like that. And it's Kevin Durant. 70-12. Again, we cracked the 70s, but it's still not great. Man, I'm very disappointed. We have all these great players. We got Luka, we got KD, we got Orlando, Dwight, and then it's just the small forward and power forward is just dragging this team down. All right, here we go again. Cleveland 90s. I'm going to re-roll the era for 2010s or 2000s for one LeBron Ramon James. I'm restarting this. I'm start. Can I restart this? World be free. I'm restarting this. I'm restarting this from scratch because that could not have been a worse round. Sacramento 80s. Otis Birdsong. Danny Ainge, Cliff Robinson. What is this? Why? I'm gonna choose a different team in the 80s. Give me like Boston or the Lakers. Moses Malone. That's not bad. That's not bad. Charlotte in the 2010s, aka the worst team in the 2010s because they went from the Charlotte Bobcats that was so bad that they had to rebrand to be the Hornets again. Why? I mean, I want to pick Kemba. He's great. I love me some Kemba. He was great. That was his peak. And then it went downhill. Give me Vince Carter. That's a lot better than Kemba Walker. No disrespect. Toronto 2010s. Give me Kawhi for that 1 year. Okay, who's our power forward? Golden State 2020s. Fantastic. Give me Jimmy Butler, even though he never plays because he's injured. 16-22. I would have loved to swap Kemba for Curry. That would have been amazing. That would have been a lot better of a choice. But damn it. Houston 70s. Give me good old Elvin Hayes. And do I pick center or power forward? I'm going to pick power forward because I'm going to think that the center is going to be a lockdown center. So I'm going to leave that spot open for, like, again, a Kareem or a Shaq or Hakeem or Bill Russell or Patrick Ewing or Tim Duncan, David Robinson, something like that. Denver 2020s, Nikola Jokic. Okay, not a lockdown center, but not bad of a choice either. All right. Milwaukee 80s. I'm going to choose a different team because, again, 80s, I want Celtics Larry Bird, and this time I will actually pick him if I get that choice. Spurs 80s. Give me the Iceman, George Gervin, and let's throw him at small forward, his natural position. Milwaukee in the 90s. Give me Ray Allen. He was a bucket. All right, who's our point guard? Lakers 2000s. I could have picked Kobe. I'm so mad. Give me LeBron. 73-9. We had the same record as the 73-9 Warriors in 2016. Let us hope we do not blow a 3-1 lead. But we got Lakers LeBron, which, let's be honest, any team with a LeBron is going to be good. We got Milwaukee Ray Allen, George Gervin, Elvin Hayes, and Nikola Jokic. I'm just being honest. If I could swap, like, let me think. What could I have done for me to get Kobe? Right? Kobe would have been the shooting guard. So, I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch this to see, because what could we have done, hindsight 2020, in order for us to get both LeBron, Kobe, and Nikola Jokic on the same team? Because I feel like that wouldn't be 82-0, but that definitely would have been like maybe 77, 78 territory. You're always giving me George Gervin game. All right, give me George Gervin again. Kobe, I am taking you this time. I am taking Kobe. I also saw Shaq, but I'm taking Kobe this time. Spurs in 2020s. I'm going to take Victor Wembanyama over Shaq. Yep. Houston 2020s. Give me Kevin Durant. Even though he's old and washed and not that very good anymore, but who's our point guard just to round up the steam? Speed run. I'm going to choose... If I choose era, I would hope for 2010 so we get like Damian Lillard. But team, I'm gonna choose team. Give me a better point on the 70s. And you didn't do them at all. Charlie Scott, welcome to the team, brother. Wow, we actually got Kobe Bryant this time, and we did absolutely nothing with it. Good job, me. Lakers 2010s. Give me Blake Griffin. One of the most underwhelming teams assembled in NBA history. Bernard King. Lakers 60s. I'm picking Wilt Chamberlain. Yep, I'm picking Wilt Chamberlain. I saw Jerry West there, but I'm picking Wilt Chamberlain. I'm going to choose a different era. I'm going to chance it and hope we get like 2000s for like Vince Carter. 70s? I mean, I guess I'll take Nate Archibald. Chicago 2020s, aka the worst time for us to be a fan, where there may be light at the end of the tunnel now because we got new coach and we got new ownership. And we have a top 4 pick, and hopefully they're going to use on Caleb Wilson, which is who I want. But the 2020s, aka the most irrelevant era for this franchise, which is disappointing because it's one of the most iconic and storied franchises, one of the best logos in all of sports in the entire world, and we do absolutely nothing with it. It was such a shame. 65 and 17. Wow. Wilt Chamberlain. And it's disappointing because I see people with like 78, 79, 80 win rosters. And a common theme I see is a lot of people have 3 players. They have LeBron, 90s Jordan, and Wilt Chamberlain. Those are the 3 players I see where if you want the chance to have an 82-0 team, you need those 3 players. At least in some regard. Maybe you get all 3, but you get like 2. And we got Wilt, and we did terrible. So joy. OKC 80s. It's not a great start. I'm going to roll for an era because maybe we get 2010s like Kevin Durant. 60s. I don't believe OKC, whether it's the Thunder or the Supersonics, I don't even think they existed in the 60s. I don't believe so. So who are we going off of? New Orleans Pelicans. This is a terrible round. I'm restarting. This is terrible. Lakers 2000s. I'm going to pick Kobe. Yep, I'm picking Kobe. New Orleans Pelicans. Oh, this is tough. This is really, really tough. Do I pick DeMarcus Cousins again for like a year, or do I pick Anthony Davis? Uh I want to pick Anthony Davis. Yeah, screw it. It's my list. I'm picking Anthony Davis. Give me LeBron, and we will put you, LeBron, at small forward. So we got Lakers Kobe, Lakers LeBron, and Pelicans Anthony Davis. Okay, good start. Portland 2020s, I am so happy that I did not pick LeBron on point guard. I was thinking about it because now we can get Dame. All right, who's our center? All right. Can't get Kevin Durant. Can't get Russ. Ennis Freedom, aka Ennis Cantor. That or Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams, Taj Gibson. Yeah, that's a big old yikes for me. I'm gonna choose a different team for a center in the 2010s. So let me think. Who were the best centers? This is my era. Who were the best centers in the NBA in the 2010s? You had Sacramento DeMarcus Cousins. You had Bulls Joakim Noah. You had I'm trying to think who else. Chris Bosh, I'm assuming, was just a power forward. So I'm going to say team in the 2010s. Utah 2010s. Carlos Boozer. All right. 72 and 10. We got Dame, Kobe, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Carlos Boozer. All right. It's a very, very solid team, but I feel like Dame and Carlos Boozer are the weak links. All right. Chicago 2010s. I'm picking Derrick Rose, and I'm not thinking twice. Which is disappointing because you obviously have that one great year in 2011, which that's why I hold very, very dear and close to my heart. But the problem is, it's not just the problem with this game is not just a 1 year thing where it's not just taking Derrick Rose's stats and his MVP year in 2011. It's also taken the injury riddled years where he tore his like Achilles and ACL in like 2012, 2013. And then when he went to the Knicks, I believe in like 2014, and then went to Minnesota, then he went to Cleveland. It's taken those years as well. But Derrick Rose is my personal GOAT, my favorite player of all time. So removing all the injuries, I'm still picking Derrick Rose. I just have to. It's just personal bias. It's my list, my team, and I feel like I can let personal bias influence me a bit for one of my favorite players of all time. This time, I'm not going to think twice. I'm actually going to pick Shaq because he's not going up against Kobe. So, all right. Phoenix 70s, not that great. While I would love to pick someone like, Connie Hawkins, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was an ABA legend before he went to the NBA. I believe. But I could be wrong about that. It could be Mitsuno might be lower for a second. I'm going to choose a different team in the 70s because I feel like we can get better than like Connie Hawkins. Adrian Dantley, I mean, stats wise, that's better, but it's not great. Back to Phoenix. In the 2000s, Amari Stoudemire. Why not? I don't think this team's going to go 82-0 or anything close. I personally, this is just a very fun team to watch. Like, to me, this is a team you would assemble in like a 2K my GM or my league or like a play now game where you would just assemble this roster and you would play with them for a couple games just for a pure fun factor. It obviously would be a very, very good team that would win the championship in any my GM or my league, but it's more a fun team where you see like, MVP Derrick Rose, being as athletic as ever, and then throwing lobs to like Orlando Shaq and, Phoenix Amari Stoudemire. Like, that would just be a fun team to watch over anything. But it's not going to beat this team out for 82-0. Yeah, 67-15. Shoot. Memphis 2020s. I guess I'll pick Ja. I guess. Just don't get into any legal trouble. I think we'll be good. Charles Barkley. Why not? Sure. I don't try to pick a lot of the same players. It just happens that way. Like, I'll be honest, I've lost count the amount of times I picked both Tim Duncan, Charles Barkley, and George Gervin in this video. I've honestly lost count. I'm going to re-roll Chicago for the 2020s, aka the worst era of this team, because I see that shooting guard spot open. I want it to be 80s or 90s. Please, 80s or 90s. The one decade before him. All right, give me... Do I take Bob Love or Artis Gilmore? All right, give me Bob Love, I guess. OKC 2020s. I'll take Shea. Okay. And our center, we're back to Memphis 2020s. So we're just doing the Memphis 2020 roster. Give me Jaren Jackson Jr. Great. Fantastic. Utah 90s. I hate that I have to do this, but I do have to put the nasty man on our roster. But I don't want to do it, but, I can't ignore that he is a top 3 scorer, at least points-wise, total points in NBA history. I can't ignore that. Golden State 90s, solid. You got Mitch Richmond, you got Chris Mullin, you got Latrell Sprewell. Again, same thing with the Ja thing of not getting into legal trouble. You kind of hope Latrell Sprewell doesn't get mad and try to choke out either a teammate or his own head coach. Or his GM being me. But I'm going to re-roll the... Do I do era and hope I get like Curry? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do era and hope I get Curry. 2020s. Great. Give me Steph Curry. All right, I love it. Wow. What a great lineup. And you know what? I'm going to take Blake Griffin because that was honestly ironic because of what I was about to say. I was about to say it's so funny how we have both like Steph Curry and Blake Griffin, two players who I feel like are universally loved in the NBA community. And you have Karl Malone on the roster as well. So you have two people who are beloved, and you have Karl Malone. I only have a choice to do a team. Aspiration Kawhi Leonard, welcome to the team. And we ended out on no Chris Paul, which sucks. Jamal Mashburn, that would have been nice. Hindsight 2020, I would have put Kawhi, the shooting guard, did Jamal Mashburn at the small forward. But I guess we had to pick David Wesley. Great. Fantastic. How long have we been going? We've been going for 55 minutes. All right. Uh, let's do one more. Just to round it out. Miami 2000s. Dwayne Wade. Great start. Philly 2020s. Okay. Man. Uh, let's do a different team in the 2020s. Great. We have back-to-back picks of Philly in the 2020s. Welcome to the team, James Harden, I guess. Sacramento in the 80s. The thing is, like, we don't really have much of a choice because obviously the best player we could want is maybe like, again, DeMarcus Cousins, but I'm assuming he's only locked at center, who's already being taken up by Embiid. So Cliff Robinson. God, this is such a bad team to end off. And 80s, we get the nasty man. 71-11. I'll be honest, I don't know how this team is 71-11 when I feel like there's other teams we've assembled in this video that did not hit 70 wins. But I feel like those teams are better. So how this team cracked 70 wins and was one of the best rosters we've assembled from a pure record standpoint, then other teams, I don't know, because this is old James Harden, and this is injury-prone Joel Embiid. Like, if this was like Rockets James Harden, then yeah, I could totally see that. But this is not 2010's James Harden. So how is this 71-11? I have no idea. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And let me know if you want to see more of me trying to attempt this most impossible challenge. Because this is difficult. But even though it's difficult, it is a lot of fun. And also, as we're wrapping up here, if you do play this game as well, let me know your best lineup, and don't be one of those people who cheat and say, oh, I got an 82-0 team because I got like 2010s Steph Curry, 90s Jordan, 2000s LeBron, 2000s Tim Duncan, and like 60s like Bill Russell. Like, don't cheat. Be honest. You've seen my lineups in real time. Being honest. Be honest with me. All right. Don't cheat.